Hey, it's Jay Chatfield, Loving Yourself to Life. I know my camera is trying to adjust with me having the light off, but I turned the light off for a reason. I know I'm back. Um, someone t- asked me to share a shadow work story on working working on yourself, like what does that look like. I do have another channel. It's called the Metaphysical Storyteller, and I do have a story on there about shadow work. I got a couple of other stories on there too. If you want to check that out, I'll get the link and put it in the subscription in the description. So here's a little story about one time I had to do shadow work. Well, I mean, I do it every day, but this one was a hard one. I had been told that I wasn't holding up my end of the bargain in a relationship, that I wasn't pulling my weight after there was a whole discussion about what the roles would be or what the jobs would be. And that person told me that I wasn't holding up, I wasn't pulling my weight. And it broke my heart. And I know you may ask, they just said that. Well, there had been a lot of things that was boiling up to that point. It wasn't just they just came out the blue with it. It was like they were trying to find a way to hurt me. And I talk about 0 point energy a lot because it's so important. When you get to 0 point energy, there is nothing that anyone can say to you that will cause you to react in an outward way. Like you would filter that thing through your head and just be like, nah, you know, when you get to 0 point energy. But I wasn't at 0 point energy at this point, and I didn't even know what 0 point energy was. Like it, I just learned, and then now I'm teaching people about it. So this person told me that, and I was so hurt. I mean, it felt like something inside of me just fell away. And because I knew I had done everything that I in my power. Like I was cooperating for me in my head. And it was like I had went above and beyond to try and keep this person just to keep my side of the bargain, cuz you can't keep someone happy. That's not your job. So I cried. I'm a crier, Scorpio here. And I was like, man, how could they say that when I've given all I have? And I cried and I cried and I cried and I laid on my bed that evening, and I was like, I hate feeling this way. This sucks. And I immediately heard Spirit say, why do you feel this way? And I said, it's probably because when I was little, I really wanted to be wanted by my mom and my dad. I didn't really care what they were going through, but as a child, seeing how they had kept my sister for 6 years and they seemingly got rid of me when I was 2 months, I didn't do anything. All I was, all I did was I was born, and that wasn't good enough. Like that's all I could do at that point. What else could I do? And I was just born and they didn't want me. And as I got older, you know, it kind of got worse because I knew I had come to like to the knowledge of what happened. And then it wasn't until I was maybe about 14, maybe about 13 that I really was like, well, damn, she was good enough for you to keep. But I never hated my sister. I never had any resentment for her. If anything, I'm like a mom to her. Even, we talked today, and even growing up, I did the things that moms would do with her. She gave me a Mother's Day card one year when I was younger, and that's my baby. That's my day one. You know. But that was funny because a lot of people say that the child resents the other like their sibling, but that never happened with me to her because I knew that she was just as like we were kind of messed up because we would only get to see our parents like once a year, you know. Like that was, and then we went to go live somewhere else, and it was like, what the hell? But that was God's plan. That was the plan. That's what we wrote before we came down here. So as I got older, that kind of that realization set in. So I sat up on my bed and they was like, "That's it. That's a part of it, but you have to tell yourself that you what they think and what they're telling you only hurts you because you think the same way. You don't think that you're worthy or deserving. So we're going to have to fix that so no one can tell you. So if someone says that again, which they never have, but if someone tells you or says something like that around you again, you already know that ain't got nothing to do with you. That's got something to do with them. And I was like, but this hurts. This hurts so bad. I was like, okay, let's go take a bath. And I'm like, all right. So I turn on the water and put the stopper in, and it was like sit down in the water. And I sat down in the water, and it says, let your tears fall in the tub. And I did. I cried. I cried in the tub. And all right, let the water out. And when you let the water out, I want you to release and say that you are worthy. You do deserve. And you release the feeling of thinking that you don't. And I did exactly that. I got up, took a shower, washed my face, and I went to bed. I've never dealt with that again. It was a lot. It was draining. It was very draining. I will say that's why I went to bed because I had been one carrying that thing with me the whole 2 days, I believe. Um, but I had to be ready to release it because I didn't want to feel that anymore. Like that was important to me because I needed to be needed, but I needed to be needed by me first, not by the person. So I went once I did that, I never had the issue again. It's been about 2 or 3 years, nothing from anybody. Because honestly, that had been happening around me a lot. It was hitting me on a couple of sides. And once I got that and I took back my power, and then I decided um, that it would no longer be this molehill in my life of me feeling like I'm not worthy or worth it. um, then I begin to know that I am worth it to me. and then I'm worth it to my children, husband, you know what I'm saying? Because I know it, not because of them, and not because of something that I didn't do. I don't know if that makes sense, or something that I have done, but I know now. So that was a short story of one of the one of the things that I've done shadow work on, and how I had to go in and heal myself. And I could talk about it because usually I couldn't talk about it. I would be bawling right now. But that's out of my life because I deserve every goddamn thing. I am worth it. I'm worth it, you know. But there are still levels to it. I mean, in that regard of what I was talking about, I got some things that I'm working on now, and attracting. But I still have the the thinking goes deep. Like I got to work on that thinking every day, and I'll talk about it once I get through it. But that's just one way. That's just one thing that I did. I'll think of another one that's kind of easy to explain because some of them aren't. Like that one was more that you can see. Other ones it was like in pieces and parts. Like it started in January, and then I had to get rid of another middle piece, and then I had to pick that thing back up in January, in August, and it wasn't even, so that's kind of hard to explain. But that one, where I had to speak to the water and let it go, that was a that was a that was a good one. And sometimes I go back to it, meaning that it's something that I'd be like, let me speak to the water. That water will carry it out of my life, and I'm about to release this. So this is Jay Chatfield. If you want to speak with me, go ahead and send me an email, for coaching, or if you want to talk to me about just what you hear, just anything. Email me at graceguidance@gmail.com. And as always, do something for you. Oh, like y'all, like it be like 30, 40 people watching. Like it. Other people need to know. Other people need to see. Y'all go and press the little thumb thing, and share it with people. As always, do something for you that only you will love. Have a love yourself day.